Hello. Hi, nice to see you. Thank you for coming. Right, here we go. So we're going to go straight into it. I'm going to go over there. We're going to do a bit of standing work warm-up first, and then we're going to get down on our mats. So I hope you're not just watching this, that you are actually going to do it. So let's get going. So first of all, you need to be standing with your feet hip-width apart. I probably don't quite need to talk so loud. There's not a whole class of you. Hope you're doing okay. Hope you're enjoying the sun. So stand with your feet hip-width apart. Check that your feet are parallel, that they are facing forward. And soften off the ankles, soften off the knee joints, soften off the thighs. Think about the position of your pelvis. So what we're going to do is we're going to tilt it forwards so the tail end goes underneath, and then we're going to gently tilt it back. So what you're doing is arching your back more. So just tuck it under and tilt it back. Great. Okay, and then I want you to settle it down so that it's in the middle, really, in a good postural alignment. So take your ribs away from your hips. So you've got a bit of space here. And then take your shoulders up a bit, back a bit, and all the way down. Draw them down with your shoulder blades. And then carry on that length through the spine, all the way up through the crown of the head, so that the head goes to the ceiling and the feet go through to the floor. You're going to draw on your pelvic floor, 3 out of 10. Put on your transverse muscles, this big band of muscles around here, 3 out of 10. And we're going to hold that posture. You're going to take a breath in. As you take a breath in, you're going to take your arms out to the side. And breath out. As you're doing this, I just want you to think about the shoulder blades and that they stay where they are, that they don't raise as you raise the shoulders. Now, bring the arms all the way up. And then you're going to stretch. You're going to stretch one arm a little bit higher, then the other one, then the other one. Keep stretching, then the other one, then the other one, then the other one, and reach. And then breath in. Oh, it's quite difficult. And then draw your shoulder blades down, and then bring your arms down with you. Good. You're going to cross your arms across your chest. Take a breath in. And then you're going to turn to the right. Is that your right? Maybe that's your left. And breathe in to come back. Anyway, go the opposite way. So breath in, and then breathe out and rotate. And what you're trying to do is keep your hips facing me. So keep your hips facing forwards and just rotate the upper body. Come back. Breath in, and then rotate again. So you're not reaching the shoulders or doing anything weird. You're just rotating in the bra strap area. And then bring it back. Breath in, and rotate. Good. And then bring it back. Lovely. This time you can take a breath in. We're going all up to the ceiling. You're going to draw on your pelvic floor and transverse. As you breathe out and go over to one side, imagine you're between two panes of glass. Breath in here. Put on your transverse and pelvic floor and transverse. And then breathe out to come back up. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So arm goes up, breath in. Breath out, you're going to side bend. So you're sliding this arm down, making sure this hip is down as well. Put on the pelvic floor and transverse as you breathe in, and then bring it back up. Good, let's go the other way. So we're going again. Hopefully you're going to go a little bit further this time. So you're side bending. Feel the way the feet are pressing into the floor. Keep your chin up. Breath in, and bring it back. Good. Do the other one again. Breath in. Side bend. Breath in here, pelvic floor and transverse on, and bring it back up. Okay. We're going to take a breath in and we're going to roll down. So I'll turn to the side so you can see. You can still keep facing me. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, you're going to think about length through the neck. You're going to roll the head down to the chin. And then you're going to go one vertebra at a time all the way down. Feels a bit stiff sometimes in the back. Just take your time, keeping your head and arms floppy. Soften off the knees as you get lower to the floor. You don't have to force it. Just go as far as feels comfortable today. And then when you're there, it's a breath in, draw on the pelvic floor and transverse, and you breathe out to come up. And what you're trying to do is stack one vertebrae on top of the other as you're coming all the way up. Shoulder blades slide down as you raise, and then projecting out again. Okay? Right. I want you to focus back down towards the feet now. So we're going to do a little bit of balance work. So you're going to take you on one knee forwards. Remember, you don't want to shift the body weight or lean, so we want to keep the knee facing forward and then bring that back down again. Same on the other foot. So you're going to bring the knee forwards, up onto the ball of the foot, and down again. You might hear some cracking in the bones of your feet. That's absolutely fine. And then back down. And one more each side, and back down. So I'm doing it on a mat because I'm on a hard floor, but on a carpet it's absolutely fine, but nothing too soft. Okay, take a breath in. We're going to go tiptoes. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, we're going to draw on the pelvic floor and transverse. You're going to go to tiptoe on both feet. We're going to hold it there for a moment, thinking about our core muscles, thinking about the shoulder blades being down, neck being long. And then we're going to go down slowly. So you're just coming down slowly and controlled, easier said than done, down to the floor. And breath in again. Pelvic floor and transverse goes on. And then you're coming up tiptoe. See if you can go a little bit higher. That's it. And hold it there. And then slowly down. Just control it going down. Control it. Great. Okay, we're going to go down onto the mat now. I'm just going to move the camera. So you get settled down on the mat. You're going to be lying on your back. On your back. With your knees bent. Feet and hips shoulder width apart. I'm going to be with you now. Just bear with me 2 minutes. Okay. I need my notes too, otherwise I won't know what we're doing today. Okay. So, you're going to be on your backs. Like we said, knees and feet hip width apart. Think about the alignment of your pelvis. So what we want you to do is have your hip bones level with your pubic bone and a little curve in the lower back so you can slide those fingers through and under because you've got a little curve there. Spread your shoulder blades out. Think about shoulders back touching as much of the floor as possible. Arms are loose out and gently out to the side. And your knees are going in their tram lines level with your hips. Okay, so we're going to do some pelvic tilt. So take a breath in. As you breathe in, you're going to draw on the pelvic floor and transverse. And as you breathe out, this belly button part of your stomach is going to disappear towards your spine. So the spine imprints against the floor and the tail end of your pelvis comes up. Take a breath in here. And then you're going to breathe out and rotate that back so that it's in a neutral position again. So breath in. And then breath out. Try not to use any leg work at all. Feet are gently pressing into the floor. Upper body's relaxed. And then breath out to come back. And again, take a breath in. Draw your pelvic floor and transverse on. And then breathe out. And pelvic tilt. Good, let's do one more. So what this is doing is really getting your lower back moving. Gets a bit stiff. And we're using it. And all we're doing is that mobility work in the lower back and drawing on the core muscles. So there's no thigh work going on. There's no top abdominal work going on. That's why the top abdominals disappear. They don't bulge up. And then draw that back again. This time we're going to do a full spine curl up into a shoulder bridge. Maybe bring your feet a little bit closer, not too far away from you. Take a breath in. Again, draw on the pelvic floor and transverse. And as you breathe out, you go through that pelvic tilt exactly like you just did. But this time you're going to keep peeling. And as if you're peeling a bicycle chain off the floor, you're going to come up one vertebrae at a time, coming up, 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 until you're in a straight line. So you're in what we call spine neutral, but up in a shoulder bridge. Take a breath in here. Think about relaxing the legs, but keeping the glutes working. And then as you breathe out, you're going to come down one vertebrae at a time. So this is a fantastic mobility exercise. Uses the core muscles and the glutes. But mostly it's about working some movement into the spine there. So we're trying to come up. Take a breath in. Breathe out as you start to go again. We're trying to come up one vertebrae at a time. So think about each one as an individual segment and not coming up, in a big old lump. Breath in at the top. You go your own speed. You don't have to go the same speed as me. So whatever natural to you, but make sure it's with the breath. So the breath helps you, guides you with your speed. all the way back to neutral. Mind, don't get stuck in a pelvic tilt. Take a breath in, breathe out, and we're going to tilt again. So we're coming up, 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 up. Think about shoulder blades staying out. Think about neck being long. Breath in at the top. And then we're going to peel back down again. Peeling down, peeling down. Try not to wobble. And then coming back down again. Good. Okay. We're going to do some abdominal presses. So you're going to put your hands behind your head. This time we are going to work the abdominal muscles. So the hands go behind your head, but even as you put your hands behind your head, you keep these ribs down, so don't let them rise up. Just keep them down by using your top abdominals just to close them down slightly. Draw on your pelvic floor and transverse with the breath in. And as you breathe out, you're going to come up and look through your legs. And what we're trying to do is keep this spine in a neutral position here. Take a breath in at the top, so allow your ribs to fill out to the side and back, and then breathe out as you come back down. And again, breath in, and then breath out. Breath in at the top, and breath out as you go down. So there's no curving of the spine here. What's happening, keep going, what's happening is the ribs are sliding down towards the pelvis. So you're not actually curving your back. Take a breath in, and then come back down again. Good, let's do one more. Breath in here. And then think about pushing those ribs, sliding them down. So your abdominals are working, but they're just closing downwards. Take a breath in, and then bring it back down. Good. And then relax. Fantastic. Okay, I'm going to lie it on one side now. So, we're going to do straight leg raises. Oh, hang on a sec, I've disappeared. Maybe not to you, but to me I have. Sorry about that. Modern technology. Okay, so you can tell it's live. There's no dubbing or changing here. So you're going to lie it in a really straight line. That's what we're looking for. A very straight line. Hang on now, what's happening? Yeah, no, we're okay. Sorry, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Okay, so in a really straight line, think about your position of your legs. So what you don't want them back behind you, you don't want them in front, you definitely don't want them bent. So push that top hip a long way away, make that underneath arm straight, if possible, and pop your head just on top of your arm like that. This hand then is going to go on the floor in front of you. What you're trying to do is bring your underneath arm in a little bit and get your underneath part of your transverse working. So it's a big band of muscle, isn't it, right round? But what you want to do, instead of being sloped into the floor, you're going to be in an active position. So push your hips away. Think about the length in the top leg. Take a breath in. Draw on the pelvic floor and transverse. And as you breathe out, you're going to raise your leg up. You're only going to raise it as far as you can until you feel like your hip wants to rise and your waist collapses like that. So don't do that. Keep that leg really long. And then point it as you breathe in. Flex it as you breathe in. And then bring it down as you breathe out. So we take a breath in, point the toe. Breathe out. Breath in as you flex. And breathe out as you lower. So again, what we're trying to do is keep the middle really stable, because it's about challenging the core, this exercise. So you're coming up, and this is where you're going to feel it in the side of your bottom here. Flex the foot on the in-breath, and take it down on the out-breath. It's really hard to try and keep this off the floor, but not off the floor maybe, but just working under here. So point and raise. It's not about how high you get the leg. It's about doing the right movements and using the right muscles. We're going to do one more. So point, breath in, raise as you breathe out. Really feel that. And then flex as you breathe in and lower as you breathe out. What we're going to do is double now. So you're going to take a breath in, point both feet just gently. And as you breathe out, think about lengthening the top leg. They will almost bring your legs off the floor smoothly and automatically. Breathe in as you flex your ankles and breathe out as you go down. So you can see my legs are hardly coming off the floor. So breathe out and raise. Breathe in and lower as you breathe out. And again, breathe out, point and raise. Flex. And down. And the last one, point and raise. Breathe in and flex. And out. And down. Good. Just bend your legs a little minute. Give them a little rest. Okay, we're going to do one last little set. What's going to happen is we're going to do some scissors. So you're going to take a breath in, really reach with that top leg and raise it slightly off the floor. Take another breath in, and you're going to go back with that top leg, but you're actually going to come forwards with the underneath legs. So you're doing a sort of scissor with the legs. And then you're going to bring them back to the start position, and then you're going to scissor the other way. It's a little bit uncomfortable on the underneath hip because it grinds a little bit against the mat. Try to keep in a straight line. Try to keep that underneath transverse working. Keep your pelvic floor on and scissor. Okay? If you find that you've done enough, just take a rest. It's fine. We're going to do this one and then I'm going to stop and back. Take a breath in and lower your legs down. Cool, they're a bit tough. Okay, we're going to do leg kicks. So your underneath leg is going to be bent, and your top one, we're going to go for some hip mobility, a little bit stretch in the hamstring and the hip flexors. So you're going to extend that leg out, take a breath in, flex the foot, and you're going to bring it forwards as far as it will go, and then you're going to take it back, and you're going to point it behind you, but without arching the back to keep the tummy sucked in here. And then you're going to flex as you bring it through. Take it back and point the foot and take it as far back as it will go, but without any funny business going on in the middle. And again, so you bring it through. If you want, you can add a little pulse at the end of this bit, but not the next bit. This one you just hold, just point and hold. Good. And again, bring it through. Little pulse. And back. Last one. And hold. Fantastic. Whew, okay, it's hot. We're going to roll onto your tummies. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do a single leg raise. Okay. Your arms actually are going to be underneath your head. So I'm going to talk a little bit just so you can see the posture like this, but I'll raise my head in a minute. Now your legs want to be parallel and hip width apart. And your shoulders want to be broad with your shoulder blades and your head resting gently on your hands. So take a breath in. As you breathe in now, you're going to switch on that pelvic floor, switching your transverse. And this is a great position because it's that bit of your belly below your belly button that you want to pull off the floor. You don't go for a big old, tuck in the tail or anything because it's literally underneath. So you shouldn't be moving this part of your body. You should really just be drawing it, trying to peel it away from the floor. So take a breath in and draw those core muscles on. Then as you breathe out, I want you to think about really lengthening the left leg and gently raising off the floor. Breath in here and lower it slowly. Now keep the core on. Breath in, so pelvic floor and transverse is on. Breathe out, extend the leg away from you first. What that will do is fire up the glute muscles and then go for a slight raise. Not a very big one. Okay, and gently back down. And again, breath in, core on, breathe out as you fire at that glute and extend the leg away. Good, and again, breath in, breathe out and point, fire up the glute and raise. Good. Well done. Whoops. Microphone all over the place. And again, one more each side. Breath in. Fire on the glutes. Extend the leg away. Point and raise. Now, notice it's not going very high, this leg. Just off the floor. Try to keep it straight. Last one. Breath in. Keep the core on. Point the other foot. Just gentle point and raise. You can really feel your bottom working there. And then slowly down. Great. Okay, we're going to add some arms. So you're going to put your arms out in front of you, not stretched, but just out. Head goes on the forehead goes on the floor. Legs are parallel, same thing. Now the legs are doing exactly what they did, but you're adding an opposite arm. So take a breath in, breathe out, and pulling the pelvic floor transverse. And as you breathe out, you're going to float opposite arm and leg off the floor. Really trying to keep that core away from the floor. I'm going to raise my head so you can hear me, and then back down. And again, the other one, breath in, core on, extend the right leg away and float the left arm with it. And then lower on an out breath. Good. And again, breath in. And breath out. And then down again. Breath in. And extend the leg. And breath out. Don't worry about how high they're going. Okay, it's not about the height. It's about trying to keep the core stable and keep it on. So we're challenging the core by moving the arms and legs. Good, and relax. Great. Okay, let's do some mobility work on the spine. So you're going to put your hands in a sort of triangle, this sort of position. And you're going to put them on the mat, and your head is then going to go inside. Now, if that doesn't allow your shoulders to spread out enough, then move your arms a little bit further apart. Your legs now are going to turn slightly out, a little bit further away from each other. So the Sphinx is all about mobilizing from the low part of the neck to just below the shoulder blade. So this part of my spine. I'm not doing anything down here, so I shouldn't feel anything in your lower part of your spine. So you've got to keep your bum relaxed. It's really tempting to squeeze on your bum. Keep your bum relaxed. Here we go. So the core is on, always, because whenever we move the back, we need to have the core on. So take a breath in. And again, pelvic floor comes on. Transverse comes on. Your head is down. I'm up just because I'm talking to you. And then as you come up, you're going to start with the head. And as you raise the head, you leave the shoulders down. Then you leave the shoulders. Then you bring the shoulders up, but you leave the chest down. Because we're trying to get some movement in the spine. And then lastly, we're going to raise as much of the chest off the floor as we can, but without bringing the elbows off the floor. Take a breath in here. And then as you go down, it's almost the reverse of that. So the chest goes down, but the shoulders stay up, and then the shoulders go down, and then the chin tucks in and the head follows. And again, breath in, and breath out. So remember, bum stays relaxed, but core is on. Quite hard to do that until you get a bit used to it. You should feel a sort of squashing feeling in the spine. Top of the spine, but not in the neck. Don't take your necks too far back. Keep them long. And again, core is on, remember. Bottom's relaxed. Head peels first, then shoulders, then chest. So good for you, this. So good. We spend so much of our time curled over. And it's really good to open up the spine the other way. Should we do one more? Breath in. And then breath out. Just enjoy that movement. Allow it to happen. Try and think about each vertebrae working on their own. Look after your back. And then breathe it back down again. Lovely. Okay. So we're going to roll onto you're going to roll. You're going to change sides. So we're going to do the other side. Oh my goodness, I've lost you again. Okay. Right. I've got to fix that problem, haven't I? So you're going to be on the other side doing... Oh, hang on a sec. Oh no. Let's try that. Okay, so again, check that you're in a completely straight line. Check that you can see. If you can normally see your feet, you should be able to see them now. And that your hips are stacked one on top of another. This hip you're going to push away from you. Underneath arm is out, but it's not stretched. So bring the shoulder back in. This shoulder stays away from your ear. Pop your head on your arm there. Take a breath in. Draw on the pelvic floor and transverse. Push that top hip really far away from you. And as you breathe out, you're going to raise that leg again. So we're going to raise it. Now this is such a fantastic exercise for the glute because it really gets in here. breath in and flex, and then lower on the out breath. And again, breath in, push the hip away, raise the leg, flex it, and lower it again. And again, breath in, and point and raise, flex, and lower it. And again, point and raise, flex, and lower. Keep that top shoulder relaxed. I think mine's going up towards my ears somewhere. Keep it away. Try and keep that underneath waist off the floor. You'll really feel this, should really feel this here and down. And it's quite hard to balance, and that's your core. That's great for your core because it's making it do its work as well. Okay, we're going to do double. So breath in, push the two legs away and float them off the floor. Breathe in, flex at the ankles, and lower in a controlled way. And again, breath in, pelvic floor and transverse on, point and raise, flex, and lower. And again, breath in, point and raise, flex, and lower. Last one, breath in, point and raise, flex, and lower. Fantastic. Whew. Okay, just after a little rest, we're going to do our scissors again. So here you're going to extend the legs away from you. Get them so you can see your toes. Breath in, pelvic floor is on, transverse is on, underneath waist is working. Push your legs away, raise the top one. I'm going to go back with the top one and forwards with the underneath one to do our scissors. Just slowly, like you're in really slow motion. And then bring them back to center, and then they're going to go the other way. Grind that hip through, and then bring them back. So again, this is challenging the center because the legs are coming off center. So we're having to try and keep really stable here in the middle while our legs are moving. And bring them through again. And back. Good. And then relax. Well done. Let's bend that leg. Okay. So this time you're going to take the leg away from you. Breath in. And you're going to bring it through with a flex foot. Reach it. And then take it back. Now focus on the center. Don't do anything strange with the spine. Take the foot back. Good. And again, flex it as it comes through. Good. Reach. And then take it back. Really. So you should feel a little stretch here, but hopefully nothing in your back. Well, definitely nothing in your back. So bring it through. Flex the foot here because you're getting a stretch on the back of the hamstrings. And then take it back. This is using the hip flexors and then getting some mobility in the hip here. Suck your tummies in. Good. And bring it back. Whoa, well done. Okay, going to go back on your backs. And to stretch out those hips you've just used. So back on your back. So we're back in our spine neutral position. So feet and hips are shoulder width apart. Knees are bent, feet fairly close to you. And actually, we're going to bring your feet even closer because we're going to do some hip rolls. So keep your feet fairly close to your bottom, knees touching, legs touching. Okay, sorry, my mic's just taking this moment to want to come off. Here we go. Okay. I think I need bigger ears. Right, so hip roll. Now, with a hip roll, you're trying, it's not easy, but you're trying to keep the spine neutral position. And remember, it's not led by the knees, it's led by the hips. And it's exactly like if you're going to roll over on the floor now. If you're going to roll over and say someone had paralyzed your legs, you would have to move your hips. You immediately start doing the correct movement, which is a hip roll. So draw on your pelvic floor and transverse. You're going to come, well, it doesn't matter, go either side. Take a breath in. I'm going to come to you. And then we're going to squeeze the legs together tight. Keep our little curve in the back, but raise the hips over. So you're going to roll the hips over. Now, if you look at my feet and knees, they're glued together. So they're not moving. They're not sliding away from each other. What When you go about halfway to the floor, take a breath in, and then you're going to roll it back again. So it's really controlled. Everything from the center. Breath in, and you're going to go the other way. So you can see my feet here. They're glued together. They're not sliding past each other. So it's controlled. I can change my movement at any moment. Breath in here, and roll them back again. Good. Let's do one more each side. Breath in, and breath out. After this, we're going to do a really nice stretch for the back that I was requested to do. Breath in and roll the other way. And then roll that back. So really that's an exercise. You should feel it in your bum, feel it in the core, and then relax. Okay, what's going to happen now? And this one's for you, Shirley. Okay, and I know a lot of you like this one. So you're going to bring your knee up towards your chest. You're going to grab it with the opposite hand. So say it's your left knee towards your chest or vice versa. Grab it with the opposite hand. You're going to roll. You can do exactly that hip roll that you just did, but just do it gently because your legs up makes it a bit heavier. So you're going to roll it until your underneath leg touches the floor. So let that leg touch the floor. Then keep bringing this one over. Let it roll over. It's going to go further than it did for the hip roll. And you then can check that you've got your opposite shoulder on the floor. And then this leg can come over and you can help that leg down a little bit. So what you should feel, you'll either feel a stretch down here in the side of the hip, or you'll feel it across your back, or maybe in your armpit up here, or maybe all three. So it's a lovely, relaxing stretch. I love it. I'm going to hold it for a second. Okay, we're going to come out of that. So draw on the core, breath in, and then just help that leg with you. Help it with your hands. You're going to hip roll. Remember, we just did the hip roll over, and then put that foot back down. So get yourselves in a neutral position again. Take the other leg up towards your chest. So you're going to go the opposite way now, so away from me. Breath in, and you're going to hip roll, starting to hip roll again. Check that your shoulders stay on the floor. Don't let them come off, okay? So you're rolling over, letting the underneath leg, side of that touch the floor first, and then you're coming over more with the top leg. Doesn't matter how far you go, as long as you feel the stretch. So again, either here, or across the middle of the back, or in the shoulder. And if you want to, you take this same sided arm, and you gently put a little bit of pressure on the top of the leg, and you can pull your hip over a bit more, but you want to check that you've got your shoulder on the floor. Good. Okay, and so to come out of that, pelvic floor transverse goes on. We're going to help a little bit with the arm, but mostly hip rolling over, hip rolling, until we come back. Good. Grab both your knees, put your hands over, and just breath in, breath out. Breath in, squeeze, and breath out. And then give a little rock, just little rocks. Great. Okay, we're going to do scissors. So you take a breath in, and you're going to float one leg to the ceiling, not to the ceiling, but over your hip. Breath in. Now, draw on your pelvic transverse, imprint the back of your ribs to the floor, and you're going to bring the other leg up. You're then going to point both feet. Okay? You're going to slide your hands up to the side of your leg, and then we're going to scissors. So what's going to happen is you're going to gently pull one leg a little bit towards you, and then you're going to change them over. So we scissors. So that's 2. And as you do, you breathe out. 3, 4, 5. Note that my back leg isn't going that far down. 6, 7, and 8. Fantastic. Fold your legs in. Gently put your head down and relax. Good. Okay. One last little stretch for the hips, and then we're done. So gently put that foot over onto the other leg. Try to keep in spine neutral if you can. Take a breath in. Imprint the back of the ribs to the floor. Put on your pelvic floor and transverse and float that leg off the floor. You can then hold on to that if you need to. And this stretch is fantastic for your hips. You know all those side leg raises we did? This is brilliant for stretching out that muscle. Now you might not need to with this one actually have your leg off the floor. So if you feel the stretch enough, so you should be feeling it about 7 out of 10. If you feel it enough, then sure, put your leg back down. But if you don't, prepare your core first and then float that leg off the floor. And what that does, it brings the leg in towards you. Okay, and now should we do the other side? Okay, so same on the other side. So put the other leg down. Cross your one foot outside of your ankle over your knee. Breath in. And then float, core on, float, and hold. You can always lean. This stretch increases if you lean slightly towards the supporting leg side. Lovely stretch. Okay, keep your core on now as you gently put your foot back down. And then take your other leg off. Okay, last little bit. You're going to put your hands over your head. One way, you're going to point your feet the other, so you're going to breathe in and stretch, and then you're going to keep breathing so you can hold this. Think about fingers one way, feet the other. Start to feel really pleased with yourself because you've done the class. And then you're going to flex the foot, stretch, 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 stretch. And then relax. Well done. Thank you all very much. You've been brilliant. I'm going to turn off now. If you want to stay on the floor and have a little relax for a few moments, then feel free. But thank you very much for watching, and see you next week.